because tourism has been one of the key focus areas. But talking about budget, we are now joined by the management of CenturyPly, who will talk to us about what the expectation are. Mr. Keshav Bhajanka, the Executive Director, joins us on the show now. Hi Keshav, good afternoon. Thank you so much for speaking with ET now. I'll come to your earnings which were released over the weekend, but first up, talk to us about budget. What are you expecting? What can be done for this particular industry to, push the growth further?
Hi, good afternoon. I think first, we need to give credit where credit is due. The last budget was spectacular, and you're seeing record earnings as a result of the same. I think for the first time in a decade, the tax collection has exceeded estimates. Um, I think the government needs to do more of the same. To be honest, they focused on infrastructure and the housing sector in the last budget, and that has yielded very good returns. I think they should continue to focus on infrastructure, particularly on logistic infrastructure, which is still a little expensive in India compared to other countries. Through Bharatmala, through Sagarmala, through dedicated freight corridors, the government has been giving impetus to the sector, but I think they need to focus more, and this is the ideal time to do it. Other than that, the housing sector, most developed economies, the entire growth story started with the housing sector, and I think in India it is going to be very similar. The government should continue to focus. They need to do some small changes, such as giving infrastructure status to real estate. This could be a big boost, single window clearances. So I think it is not a lot, a very huge change that is required, but multiple small changes that can boost the real estate sector as well.
Keshav, when we just look at the budget, budget is all about taxes and expenditure, apart from what you said. Say if tax is lowered or, a little bit of bracket is increased for the slightly lower people, you think it will have a very good impact on the low cost housing?
I think it will. You see, they have already started making some changes. For instance, the 2 lakh rupees of interest deduction from your total taxation, if it goes towards real estate, towards housing, towards a loan towards housing, I think that is a very good step. If they change the limit to 5 lakhs from 2 lakhs, that could bring a lot of home buyers towards purchasing homes because they see that as a direct saving. So I think steps like this are always welcome, and the government does have room. They have done a very good job. Today they have bandwidth. They can bring about these changes. So I think some of these changes should definitely be implemented.
Well, yes, Keshav, that point is taken as far as the domestic consumption is concerned. But what do you think is the export opportunity for the sector, and what can be done or announced in the budget which can provide impetus to export opportunity?
I think there's a lot of opportunity in India. We have seen exports have increased drastically for quite some time now, and the logistics sector, that is one area. An investment in logistics can reduce the cost of exports. It can make us more export competitive. So investment in infrastructure long term is going to help us become a major export player. Today, the logistic cost is a major barrier, particularly for items that are not that are low price per ton. So for such materials, logistic cost becomes a barrier. If the government invests in the same, I think long term there is a lot of scope, and we can definitely grow exports substantially.
Right. So more than that, when there is a economic growth, when the tax collection overall from corporates like you and various other, an absolute amount tends to increase. What sort of leeway does the government have, if they want to boost infra, boost housing, boost consumption? So this is the time to do it, and that's why expectations are high on these lines that consumption will be boosted.
Yes, definitely. I think today the government is in a very, very strong position. I think the economy has done fantastically over the course of the past year, much better than most of us could have expected. If you look at most corporates, the earnings are very good. Corporates are in a very good position. I think this is the right time when the government can and should invest. If the government can take these steps today, it is going to propel our growth for the next decades.
Right. Just a word with the global backdrop, China plus one, what's happening with global interest rates, movement towards India for export. All these are still the tailwinds. If a little bit of push is given, growth can be resumed to a big way.
Yes, 100%. I think we're just seeing the start of the growth journey. This is very early days, and I think that over the course of the next few years, we are going to see India doing far better than what it has ever done before. So I think we're in a very, very strong position, and I'm very hopeful for what comes next.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for taking out time for us, and hope you will have some time for us post budget as well on a post budget analysis as to what has come out, with sectors, which industry to focus on over the next 1-2 years.
Thank you.